Välkomna allihopa! Äntligen är det dags för den 20:e onlineprovningen för Tryffelsvinet. Det är ju helt galet att vi har hunnit med 20 stycken redan.
Ja, vi börjar bli lite varma i kläderna.
Ja, men nästan så. Och därför vill vi passa på att fira med en riktigt bra provning idag. Jag är Anna Rönngren och vid min sida har jag den förtjusande Nikita Moj. Känns alltid tryggt. Och idag är det ju, idag är det lite speciellt, va? För vi släppte ju ganska nyligen vår Sara Vezzas premiärlåda, och det är den som är fokus idag. Och Sara Vezza är ju vad man skulle kunna säga en line extension av Josetta Saffirio, som ju är en av vinklubbens typ mest älskade viner, med den karaktäristiska lilla tomten på. Och Sara Vezza som är vinmakare där, hon tog ju över den här firman efter sin mamma som heter Josetta Saffirio på 90-talet någon gång ungefär, och det är ju i princip tack vare Sara som det har nått det höga anseendet som det har idag, så att vi är otroligt stolta att få jobba med Josetta Saffirios viner och nu i framtiden också Sara Vezza, vad ska man säga, märket kan man väl säga. Så det här är absolut första årgången och absolut världspremiär helt enkelt, så det känns jättekul. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Sara Vezza herself. Welcome. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Are busy times in the vineyards right now? It's harvest time.
Yeah, it's still harvest time, so we are finally finish the harvest. We are very close to pick up all the Nebbiolo for the Barolo. So we are very, very happy because we are taking home all the efforts of 1 year in the vineyards.
Very nice. It sounds like a very hectic time for you. So thank you for taking this time to sit down with us, Sara. We really appreciate it. Would you like to tell us a little bit about the background of this line extension with the Sara Vezza line?
Yes, we started to think about that about 3.5 years ago. And the idea is that I realized that I spent 20 years of my life talking about the gnomes, about Josetta Saffirio, and improving that brand. But on the other side, I am Josetta Saffirio because my mother has left the cellar in 1992, so a long time ago. So I said, okay, now it's time to say thank you to my parents because they have done fantastic support for me. But I really would like to go a little bit ahead. And so together with my working team, they are young people, about 30 years old. So we said, okay, why don't try something else? And that means not only in terms of label, but in terms of research. So what I mean is that the new line Sara Vezza really wants to break the borders. So we think we don't want a recipe to make the wine, but every year to see how are the grapes and how is the pH, acidity and sugar, and how has been the vintage, and try the best way to transform in wine that tell the story of the soil and the vintage. What I mean is that every year we have to reinvent the way of making wine and aging the wine. So, for instance, we work much more in oxygenation during the fermentation or less, it depends, of course. Or we are trying to use new technique of aging, like the amphora or the porcelain or small wood or large wood. So we think that it's a work in progress. This is what I mean.
Right, right. Very interesting. It will be so much fun to follow your new line and see where it goes. It sounds like there will be some room to play around and see what works best and what the grapes give you each vintage.
Yeah, the production is very limited, but we like to call it evolution line because this is the idea, to always go straight on.
Right.
And you started purchasing vineyards in 2017, if I believe?
Yes, 2017 has been a very good vintage. Been very, very happy. The idea is that every year we select a part of the vineyard that we prefer the most to use for the Sara Vezza line. Yes.
I would also like to talk about the label a bit, because for the Josetta Saffirio line, it's the iconic label with the gnome, of course. But I can tell there's been a lot of thoughts into the new label as well, with all the different symbols. Can you please tell us a bit about the new label for the Sara Vezza line?
Yes, it has been very tricky to reach all these 4 symbols, and the idea behind is to tell a story, because it's very difficult to explain the philosophy of wine production just with the label, you know. So it's very hard. And the idea of 4 is because of the 4 natural elements. So it's air, water, soil, and fire. And 4 because I have 4 kids, and 4 because in a biodynamic, the earth is squared, and I feel I'm squared as well. So I have my angles myself. So the first symbol is an angel, and represents the air, but also the spirituality. Because believe me when I said that if you go in the vineyards, you really feel the bond, and it's something in deep in your soul. I mean, the bond between the farmer and the vine. And the second symbol is the dragonfly. And I discovered that that dragonfly lives many years as an insect into the water, under the rocks, before it becomes the dragonfly that everybody knows. So it represents the water, but also the idea of transformation. And then we have the tower, and the tower represents the soil, the land, the terroir, and is the connection between Monforte, where the estate is set, and Murazzano, which is a village in Highland, about 750 meters on the sea level, where I bought 16 hectares to plant Pinot Noir and Chardonnay for making Alta Langa. And the last one is the Phoenix, and represents the fire and the resilience. And everybody has been transformed by the fire in their life, for sure.
It's such a beautiful label.
Yes, absolutely. And
thank you.
Definitely a lot of thought behind what you put on the label. But Sara, please, we're very impressed. You have Josetta Saffirio, you have Sara Vezza, and you have 4 children. How do you manage your time?
Well, I think that if you want, you can. I'm very happy because I have a lot of support. I have a nanny 10 hours a day. And I have a very good team that support me in the cellar, plus my father, and they are making a very good job. So together we are like a ship, and we go all together in the same direction, and that is the only reason why we can manage.
Very nice. Very nice. Okay, so enough about the background, I think. Should we start tasting some wines, or did you have any other questions?
Oh, I have lots of questions, but they're also all related to the wine. So I'm very anxious to get to taste. We have already poured wine in our glasses. We will start with the Barbera, and then we will go with the Nebbiolo, and then we will finish up with the grand finale of the Barolo. But Sara, please, can you tell us a bit about the wine, the Barbera, and the winemaking and how it's made?
Yes, this is the wine we started the first to introduce in the Sara Vezza line, Barbera d'Alba. It's a superiore, so it's been aged in oak for a minimum 9 months. And the word you read here is Villaro, and it's a suburb of a village, Rodino, which is pretty close to us, where I rent 6 hectares some years ago, and I replanted the vineyards. It's a beautiful soil, very similar to the Barolo area. So we think that we will take out. I see that we are having very full body and strong wine. So what we look into this wine is to have a modern approach. So for instance, we every year we change the number of the day of skin contact. For 2018, which is the one you have, we say a little bit longer. So you have a very dark fruit, both in the glass in terms of colors as well as in the mouth. And then has been aged in oak for 1 year.
Right. It's very, very nice. What kind of oak is it that you're using?
We are using French oak and large barrels of 3,000 liters each. Okay. So as I said, it's a very limited production because we only make about 2,000 bottles for each label.
2,000 bottles. Wow.
I don't know if everybody at home has poured all 3 glasses, but if you just compare the color of the Barbera with the Nebbiolo, you're really struck by the density of the color in this one, which is very typical for Barbera. It's a wine that I really enjoy. And you said you have a modern approach, but I can really feel the classic notes of a true Barbera for me. It has this, it's full-bodied, but it's still very perfumed and very elegant, and with all like these very dark fruity aromas, and it's extremely nicely balanced. And I think it's because of the oak aging that you use with like the bigger barrels, so it's very, very balanced, I would say.
Yeah, that's absolutely something that I was thinking of as well when tasting it. For me, it's a very pure expression of the Barbera. It has all the nice fruitiness, and it's a very serious expression of the Barbera. It has the dark fruits and the red fruits, but it also has a very nice acidity and some grip in the tannins, which makes it for me a more of a serious version of the Barbera, which is very, very nice. Sara, do you what would you eat with this Barbera?
Well, for sure something like cheese, because you know that in this area we have a lot of different cheese production, from Parmesan to the Toma, and from the young to the aged cheese. And I think that a very good selection of cheese is a very good match with this wine.
And I would actually use this wine for a lot of different things, since it's so elegant and it has the structure. So it's really what we call in Swedish ett matvin, a wine for food, because you could use it with very nice, like luxurious pasta with like the Swedish chanterelle mushrooms. I would think would go very nicely, and like meat of different kinds. You can have because we're going into the fall now, we're in the middle of the fall, we can like have a nice stew or something like that. So I think it's really nice with food, but also really nice to drink as it is, or together with like the charcuteries and some nice as you said, but some nice like salami together with it would be like perfect.
Yeah, that's because acidity is a very important note in that wine, and helps to clean the mouth very well.
So this is one of the first, it is the first vintage of this wine, the 2018, right?
Yes.
So, but it will be curious to know how you think about the ageability of this wine. Is it for 5-year storage or 10-year storage, or drinking young?
Well, in general, Barbera has this acidity which helps to age for long. For sure, if you want to store the wine for a long time, it's better to go towards Nebbiolo or better Barolo. But I think that if you open that wine after 5 years, you will be surprised, because for sure it will have an evolution, and it will not be a dead wine. On the other side, will be still alive. And as I guess that it will go more towards red fruits, mushroom smell, this kind of aroma in the nose. This is what I guess.
When I buy Barbera myself, and I would definitely buy this wine, I usually try to keep them for 2 or 3 years because quite a lot happened in that short period of time, and especially like this with this very delicate wood contact and wood age. I think it's going to be splendid in a couple of years. It's splendid now, but it's really happy to try this wine.
Yes. Sorry, I forgot to ask previously. Would you just quickly like to describe 2018 as a vintage in terms of Rodinho?
Yeah, 2018 has been a very challenging vintage in the summertime because it was very wet. So we had to fight very hard the mildew, which is one of the most difficult illness we have to fight, and we only can use the copper because we are organic certified. So it has been very challenging. We have lost a part of the production due to the mildew and due to the frost in the spring, in the early April, we got the frost as well. So, but on the other side, it has been a pretty long, summer. So at the end, September make a very big, important difference. And when it comes and the temperature is changing, that adds a lot to have ripe tannins and a very good color and ripe aromas into the grapes. So I'm happy because at the end we have a very long September and we pick the grape at the right moment, and which is a very, very critical point for all the winemakers in general, to pick the grape at the right moment when they are completely ripe, and so we are very happy about 2018 vintage. Absolutely.
Very good. Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. Yes. So you should be.
Grazie. Thank you.
So shall we move on to the
Nebbiolo
now? Can you tell us a bit about the winemaking philosophy behind this wine?
Yes, the first thing you see that is a Nebbiolo d'Alba, which is a different appellation compared to Lange Nebbiolo Josetta Saffirio. So Nebbiolo d'Alba, for the appellation, must be 100% Nebbiolo. No other grape are allowed. So we are very, very happy and proud of this Nebbiolo. And it has been, in the winemaking has been decided together with Manuele, our young winemaker. And the idea was to have a very modern Nebbiolo. What I mean is to have to look for a very elegant and fine wine. For this reason, we decided to go in not to extract too much during the fermentation, so to have a lower temperature, about 28 to 27 degrees. Compared to the 30, 31 that we have on the other wines, like the Barbera, also in Sara Vezza, and on all the wines of on all the red wines of Josetta Saffirio. So, and of course, you want to extract too much color for sure, but on the other side, you have a more elegant wine. So we have worked very, very much in oxygenation. So we put oxygen into the tank while we were fermenting, and for this reason, I'm very proud to have this fine and elegant Nebbiolo 2019. Yes, I think that we are very, very happy. And every label has all the four symbols in different color. And on this Nebbiolo, you see they're purple but lighter compared to the Barbera. About 2019 vintage, I can say that it has been good, very well balanced as well. And also I can say that we have had a good quantity compared to 2018.
That's good for us to hear.
Absolutely, we're very happy to hear that. But Sara, for the Nebbiolo, it's not been in any oak?
Yes, it has been aged 1 year in oak.
Okay.
For 2019 and 20 as well. But for this year, so 2021, we have decided to use the amphora for aging.
Oh, interesting. So what kind of oak was used on the 19?
Is French oak, about 2,000 liter. Also, this Nebbiolo has been made only in 2,300 bottles.
Right. For me, this wine is exactly what you describe it, that you want it to be. For me, it's very fresh, very pure. It has a lot of flowers. It has a high lift. It's a very elegant expression of a Nebbiolo. For me, a lot of rose hip. And then I wouldn't say it would be like red cherries, fresh red cherries, directly from the tree. It's a tree. That's what the word is. And then it has the nice spiciness in the background. And for me also, what I really like about this wine is the tannins. The texture there is so extremely nice, and that it ends in a fresh. You'd like another sip. So you've really managed well to keep it young and pure without the tannins to be too harsh, I would say. It's very drinkable.
I'm extremely impressed by this one as well. And I just want to explain to the viewers at home, I kept calling it Lange Nebbiolo. I'm very sorry about that, but that's, I think, in my brain, because you so rarely see the appellation. Nebbiolo d'Alba, it's very rare to see, so it's also I think that's something very cool about it, that you were able to put that on the label. And I agree with Nikita, and I also said about the Barbera that I think it's such a true expression of the Barbera, and the same goes for this wine, because you have the color, which is so typical of Nebbiolo, you have the acidity, and also the tannin structure and the extreme elegance also. It's really lovely.
Yeah, it's really, really great, Sara. Well done.
I'm happy, very happy, because you feel the fruit of the wine inside, and this is what we look for. So the idea of the wine we have is that you feel the fruit of the wine, the original grape into.
And in Piemonte, what would you eat to this wine?
Tajarin with ragu.
Can we come?
Yes.
Or risotto with saffron.
Yeah, nice.
Maybe as well, yeah.
Very nice.
Or we have a sausage made partly with pork meat, and but most of the meat is from veal, so it's a very light sausage, and you can eat also raw, and it's amazing with the Nebbiolo.
I think for this wine, you also have like the tannin structure I was talking about, so you could feel like you can go for more, what you say, more creamy food, as you said, a risotto, or something that is very popular in Sweden is the potato gratin, which is also a lot of cream and cheese and stuff like that. So, and this wine can really manage that, because it has the tannins as well. So this is also really good together with food. But as you say, you can drink it slightly chilled, like 60 and 70 degrees, and just drink it as it is, because it's so lovely. And I would like to ask about the ageability for this wine. Is it the same as the Barbera, or a bit longer, perhaps?
For sure, that the tannin helps again to make the aging potential become longer. But the idea of this wine is to have it young. I mean, not to wait too much, 2-3 years, not 10. Is what I mean. Because if you want to have aged wine, maybe you will prefer a Barolo instead of the Nebbiolo. So we look forward to have a lightly Nebbiolo grape, is not for aging for 10 years. Yes, for sure, if you age for a couple of years, you will have an evolution again in the glass. The wine is something alive. But the idea is to have an enjoyable fine wine right now that is young.
You want to preserve the freshness of the fruit in this one, because that's
exactly
so fragrant and energetic almost. It's really impressive.
Absolutely beautiful. Very, very serious and very, very good.
Yeah.
Grazie. Thank you very much.
So for the grande finale, so I think we drink the Nebbiolo d'Alba while we wait for the Barolo to age, I think. So this is the grand finale with the Barolo. And can you please tell us a bit about the winemaking and philosophy behind this wine?
Yeah, sure. First of all, I want to say you that is a Ravera, And Ravera is a very famous sub-appellation from Novello municipality. So it's the only vineyard of Barolo we have outside the Monforte village, inside of Novello municipality. It's a small vineyard of 3,000 meters, and we select the grape, so only a part will become Ravera, only the best part of this small vineyard. And we have done on this wine a very classic winemaking, because what we want is to make the vineyard and the soil of that appellation coming out. So from the Ravera soil, which is a youngest soil, if you think of on the geological age compared to the Monforte soil. So it has a higher percentage of sand. So what I mean is that they still have a very important structure in terms of tannin. It's a full body wine, but on the other side, this sandy soil has to have a very delicate tannins, a very long finish, and very fine wine. So we wanted that the Ravera soil was coming out properly. So we have made a very classic fermentation around 30, 31 degrees. I mean, the peak is just a day. And then the skin contact in total is about 10 days. And then it's been aged for 2 years, partly in barrique and partly in large wood of 2,000 liters. So the vintage you have is 2016, and it's one of the best vintage we have ever had, one of the most celebrated by the press, and one of, I can say, one of the best I've ever seen, you know. So it's a pity that I have no kids born in 2016. They were born all the years, but not 2016. No, I'm joking. Cesare was born in 2016, and we are very happy that we can save some wine for him. But I think it's a wine that really can be forget into the cellar for many, many, many years, and it's an incredible vintage. I'm very, very proud of that. And really, in this glass, you can feel the vineyard and the vintage.
Very good. What do you think,
Garth?
I love it.
It's beautiful. It's so good. Would you like to describe, just for the viewers to get a better understanding of what makes, when you say that it really is the vineyard in the glass, can you please describe what makes this Ravera wine for you?
Well, what I taste Ravera, I really want to feel this delicate rose coming out in the glass, this very floral bouquet, sort of Lady Barolo, and also I want to feel the elegance in the mouth. On one side, the complexity for sure, and on the other side, the elegance. So it's like to think to a lady around 50, 60 years old, very elegant, with a beautiful dress, with a lot of jewels and diamonds, but elegant, you know, not too much, you know, a beautiful actress with a beautiful dress.
Very good. I think we understand.
Yeah.
And I agree. It's a very, very beautiful woman, this one. For me, it's a lot of the roses. The fruit is present, but it's not a lot. It's a hint of fruits, and then you go towards the spices. You have the roses, you have the rose hip again. It really is a very nice line, because you can find that there is an idea behind the whole line, and you can see that it's made by the same hand. Basically, it's in the same style, which is very, very beautiful, and something that I think is really impressive. And for me, this is the crown jewel, of course. but it's young. It has some grippy tannins, but it has a very nice texture around them. So they are grippy, but they let go soon, and then it has the very nice lift again in the end, as all the other wines as well. So for me, this is absolutely beautiful. I would happily drink a bottle now and then one every year for maybe 20 years.
Yeah. When I tasted, I like Nikita, I also made the comparison between the first Nebbiolo and this one, because they are really brothers and sisters, if you will. You can sense that they have something in common, but the Barolo is so many more layers. It has even more complexity, even more expressiveness, even more intensity. And also for me, this is the essence of Barolo, what I am searching for when I want to buy Barolo for my personal cellar, because it has the acidity and the tannins while still being so like light as a feather, because it's
absolutely.
not a heavy wine. It has structure and it has power, but in the same time it's so conflicting in my head, because it's powerful but still like so light and so elegant, and it really gives room for all the aromas to show. With all the aromas that you described, I will sign the paper too. I agree with them, but it's really impressive. And also for me, the length of the wine, it still really evolves in my mouth, even though my glass is empty, because I really like it. I feel like that. Thank you, Nikita.
Most welcome.
Thank you. But you can really feel the wine is still alive within my mouth, even though it's been a couple of minutes since I finished, which is, for me, it's really a sign of the quality and the potential of the wine. It's really, really nice.
I absolutely agree.
So I really hope that all the wine club members will love it as well.
I think so. They should. They should.
But Sara, what do you think about the ageability in the Ravera?
You said 20 years. Do you agree?
Forever.
Yeah.
Forever. Forever.
Because it has the perfect combination.
No, I think it's it's a vintage that I mean, I'm sure that if we will open that bottle in 2026, we will have a great surprise, and in 2036 will be still very alive. I really look forward to age this wine for a long time. For a long time, I'm very happy.
And serving together with food, I would think this is where you go for your best food.
Yeah.
Like when you invite friends over and you cook for a couple of hours and you really bring your A game to your food, then this wine will go with everything, because it's so lovely. But it really deserves to have some carefully prepared food. But it has the.
I don't share this kind of bottle with friends, you know.
You drink it yourself. That's smarter.
No, well, it's the same with the champagne, because I love champagne, and the best bottles is only for me and my husband.
Well, actually, I agree.
Very good. Yeah, it is what it is.
So we have tasted all the three wines, but of course, as you said, you were almost about to finish the harvest. Can you say something about the 2021 vintage so far, or is it still a mystery?
Well, it's not a mystery. It has been a very dry summer. We got the frost the night of the 7th of April, and the cellar and a couple of vineyards are at the bottom of the hill, and that's went below the zero of 4 degrees. So it has been a very big damage, because I've just replanted a vineyard of 3,000 meters, and more or less all the plant has gone, you know, so we have to replant it again. So we have lost a part of the bunches for sure. And also it has been a very dry summer, so we have less grapes this year. We look for a very good concentration in the grapes, so we look forward to have an important wines. It's very early to say, because for my experience, it's always better to wait until January that all the fermentation are done, and then you can see more or less which is the direction of that wine, even if it is a little bit difficult, but you have an idea in January. Now it's too early to say, so I prefer not to say anything at all.
Fair enough. Fair enough. We will. So we can't hold you to it later.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, it's better to better safe than sorry. But we're really sorry to hear about the loss. But we're happy to hear that the quality seems good in what is left. And then we'll have to see later in the beginning of next year what will happen.
Exactly.
So I think it's time to round up.
Yeah, I think so too. We are very, very, very happy that you took time out of your very busy schedule to do this together with us and the Wine Club. I know it's very appreciated by the Wine Club since your wines are so loved.
Oh, I have one thing actually that I was thinking about that I was going to say, but I forgot.
Yeah.
But the thing is that Sara hopefully will come here at the end of this year, and we're planning some different activities.
Exactly.
Yeah, all the fingers crossed that everything goes fine, that there are no new situations that we need to take into account. But the plan is that Sara will come at the end of the year, and we're planning activities in Stockholm, in Gothenburg, and in Umeå.
And the Wine Club will be the first to know when everything is finalized. Of course, you'll just check your email and you will know everything. But that's going to be super, super fun. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be.
I'm very excited to come back because I really miss Sweden so much.
Sweden misses you as well, Sara.
So we will see each other on Instagram after we finish. Hopefully we will do a little raffle, a little utlottning with the ones who are participating with your email. So we will pick a few winners. Let me see, I put it over here. And I think we said 3 lucky winners will get one of these umbrellas with the Tryffelsvinet logo, which is a good thing when it's not so good weather anymore. The summer is long gone. So we will see each other on Instagram stories afterwards. And thank you so much to the Wine Club, and especially thank you, Sara, for joining us today. It's been a pleasure.
It has been a pleasure for me. Thank you very much for sharing the wine with me. And I want to send a big hug to everybody, to the Wine Club members as well, and hope to see you in December.
See you in December, yes.
Thank you so much for today. Cheers.
Ciao, bye.
Bye.
Ciao.